I've always known Richard as Richard, buddy Richard, fellow actor Richard, funny guy, smart, you know, short comedy, short, and it went from me knowing him that way and always relating to him that way to seeing him go into dad mode. And then I'm like, oh, this is why his sons are so well behaved. Because he was like herding us like kittens. He's like, Jared, I need you to come over here right now. Jensen, hey, let's go, come on. I don't have time for this, let's go, we gotta go. I'm like, who is this guy?
I will say this. We haven't teased him about this yet, and we haven't announced this publicly. But Richard has a funny directing quirk. So Richard, we've known him for many years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, whatever it was. Season 4 we met, season 3 we met.
Better part of
season
a decade.
3, better part of a decade. We've known this guy. I've stopped trains with him for God's sake. And we get on set, and it's like, Richard, buddy, dude, congrats. It's good to have you here. He's like, cool. Sam, you get over there. Dean, you're over here. We're like, is he calling us by our character names?
So we called him out on it. Didn't stop.
He didn't know. So every time we do it, he'd be like, okay, so Sam, you go right there. I was like, okay, director, and what else do I do? Mr. Director, sir, Mr. Director. He's like, Jared. Okay, Jared, you go there, and then Dean comes over and, okay, Mr. Director. Oh, okay, Jensen. So he was so into it, he didn't realize that he was calling us by our character names. Yeah. Anyways, it's not all there.
There's plenty more material to talk about, I think. But let's suffice it to say that there were some very funny moments that happened recently during his episode, which I'll let him tell you about. Let's just say, and you'll see it. But there was luckily we got him he got a funny script, so the script lent itself for a lot of cutting up, and cutting up we did. And there was times when we couldn't finish a take because like laughing and tears, and so we try to have a very, very good time on our set, and I think it's one of the reasons why we've lasted this long and haven't killed each other. But I will say that sometimes the having a good time and keeping it light on set is to the detriment of the director, who is just pulling his hair out because he's losing time while we're over there like telling some story for the 5th time because it gets a good laugh. And he's just like, I'm gonna lose my mind. We're like half an hour behind, and he's joking, and he can't get his lines right, and he's not doing. Meanwhile, we're having a great time.